What's going on, world? How art thou? Glad that you guys have decided to tune in to another edition, another episode of the Culturally Correct podcast. I am your guy, Damon Golden. Dame, you can just call me Dame. I don't really care. I am joined by the ever so faithful
Rome.
All right, yeah. Everybody heard you smacking your lips in that moment.
I was a little parched.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then we also got the man himself,
Jimmy.
Yeah, no, he's here. He's definitely here, lady. He's here. He's taking.
Right.
He's taking though.
When you say taking, like, give me a definition. What does that
We're
mean?
not talking about, you know what I mean, Liam Neeson. Okay, you're taking. Okay, you're in a relationship, correct?
Off the market.
Situationship? Is that what, is it? It's a situationship.
Yes, situationship is a little bit different than relationship.
Okay, all right.
Yep. So
you're in a situationship.
Situationship don't necessarily mean that you taking, but it also does mean that you take. It's a situation. You know what I mean? If a young lady is willing to deal with the situation, then I ain't taking.
All right. Okay. Well, hey, listen. We're gonna jump into the normal flow of the show. The normal flow of the podcast is what we do every week. Is what I realized. What I realized this week is I have really been cheating myself. I have been cheating myself in the way of not partaking in bourbon straight. Okay, so I've been cheating myself when I mix it with sodas or juices. I think it's cool to do that. I think it's perfectly fine to do that. But at the same time, there is something to be said about drinking it straight or on ice. It's different. It's much different. And I just recently watched an amazing documentary that kind of explained the whole process of bourbon, and I've grown to have a greater appreciation for it, for sure. So what I realized this week is I've been cheating myself by always mixing my bourbon and my whiskey. I need to have it straight more often. That's what I realized this week. Short and sweet.
Good one.
Really, it was really neat what I realized this week. Neat.
I like that one.
You got it, Jimmy, or I'm going?
Go ahead, big guy. You got it.
Okay. I really had like 6 what I realized wrote down.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with this one because it's more relevant and like it really struck me today. What I realized is LeBron's greatness is bigger than what I even thought.
Preach.
And no, because Dame is on love and hate this. What I realized. Okay. What happened in my life is that during some of my business ventures, some of the things I've been doing, I've been taking some L's, and like it's like the first time I have like took drastic L's. Usually I prepare myself for L. You like, I'm gonna throw this shot in the dark, but then I took this L and it like humbled me so much that like it shook me to my core. And so I say I embrace LeBron's greatness because he has this record that everybody brings up. Nobody knew about my L. A couple people, Dame, knew about it. If I tell you the situation, you'll know. It just shook me. It was a big deal for me. But nobody is throwing it in my face, bringing it up every time. LeBron deals with this week in, day out, game in, game out about his record in the finals. He can't catch Jordan in rings. All these things that he doesn't do, but he keeps striving and going. Like, he could easily be like, oh, well, I got 2 rings, I'm done. Like, he could retire in his 15th season. Like, but he's still chasing these rings and chasing his dreams and doing what he can without letting them L's affect him. And like for me to have one, I'd say major L to me. But the situation was I had a big major deal on the thing. Was trying to procure this building. Looked at it, seen it. It was pending already. I was like, I'm just want to look at it.
Yeah.
The day I was supposed to look at it, it fell in my lap. I wasn't expecting for it to fall in my lap. The person who was buying it fell off the market, and I was the next person up in line. And I like made 50% of what I needed in, a couple days before somebody else snatched it up under me. And like I was like really excited about this building. Like it was life changing.
You talked about it for a while. Facts.
And so like it affected me losing that building because like it was game changing for about a week. Like I said, I grinded hard. Building was like $500,000. I came up with 200,000.
Yeah.
So like to me, that's.
You gotta be proud of that, though. I mean, that's something to be proud of.
It is. It is. But for me, just be so close with something. Now the next building I look at is like 1.8, and I'm like, yeah, I can't fucking do that. But I was so close, I could taste it, and it like grasped away. So like for him to get to the finals and see it, taste it, be there, and then miss it.
I think the other thing too, though, that's unique about. One thing that everyone can draw from, there's a parallel between everyone and LeBron's situation is no one considers context. They just look at results lots of times, right? But nobody ever considers context. You can't have an entire picture without context, right?
Yeah.
Look at his finals losses, and he's only won 3, so he's 3-5. It's like, dang man, you lost 5. All right. But if you look at the context, you look at the injuries, right? First time he played Golden State, neither Kevin Love nor Kyrie were good enough to go. He took that team, that Golden State Warriors team, 6 games with Matthew Dellavedova being his first option. You know what I'm saying?
Is he still in the league?
He comes off the bench for the Milwaukee Bucks.
And that's not great.
It's not. No, it's not at all. The very first time he went to the finals where he got swept by San Antonio, people forget that he took a team.
Eric Snow
Was his number 1 option.
Eric Snow and Booby. Daniel Gibson. He was on that team. Booby was on that team. I know
Larry Hughes was on that team. I think Booby came off the bench.
Yeah, he was.
So anyways, but nobody ever considers context, right? They just look at the totals. Mike went 6 for 6. Well, yeah, that's very true.
He didn't make it 9 times.
Hold on, wait though. So did Phil Jackson. So did Scottie Pippen. Like, come on. Like, these are constants. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to name a constant LeBron has had every time.
Listen, we're not having this debate again.
We're not going to have this debate. But I'm saying in life sometimes, guys, don't listen to what people say because lots of times people are only responding to the results. They don't have any clue of the context. They have no clue of the backstory. They're not going to consider what it took.
All the information.
To where you are. You know what I mean? So people's opinions kind of diminish when they don't have the entire story. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I don't broadcast a lot, and so it took me a lot to even say that today. Like to take a L. I don't like
it's a good L though. I mean, sometimes life throws you good L's. You know? You learn from that. You know
I know because now I know I got 2. I got that.
Yeah. All right, Jimmy.
What I realized this week, man, is
what I realized you can't tell Jimmy to go do something. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not going to follow through like
that was completely different. You should have been there to begin with. But that was completely different.
What you tell him to bring back?
You know what I told him to bring back? You know what
I mean? Yeah.
I told him to bring back some of that moonshine.
That hooch.
One simple request. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Nobody
and it wasn't like he called ahead to one of the family members and said, hey, yo,
I asked him to do
have this ready for me. No, he didn't do that. He was, solely. I got to make sure.
Did you get some? Did you drink some?
I had a sip.
So you had some, but still.
When I tell you it was literally a sip, like I'm not even talking. It was legit a sip.
You ain't taking shots of moonshine. All you do is sip it.
I didn't have my own cup. I drank out of somebody else's cup. They said, "Here, take this. Take this right here, fella." and I tasted it, and they took the cup right back.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Go back to what you realized this week.
Sheesh. What I realized this week, man, is when you are valuable, other people will see it, and it is hard for them to let you go. So recently, I've gained some new employment. Shout out to man above, helping me out.
Yep.
Shout out to my guy Thomas for putting me on. Tommy Bands is what I like to call him. So I got this new job, and yesterday I went in and I gave them my 2 weeks letter of resignation or whatever, my 2 weeks notice, and like they were just like the saddest people, and they were like mad, like upset, like she didn't even want to take the letter from me.
She realized how good of a worker you are?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Or was there something else going on, Jimmy? Was this
we're not going to talk about it.
Rome, was this a part of the Side Piece Chronicles?
I sure did learn from Rome, didn't I? Rome and Rome.
You're not going there today.
We've all been there. You ain't got the phone call. Everybody there. We all got that phone call.
Listen, I'm putting a poll up. Y'all ain't no keep acting like it's just me in this world.
Man.
So you told him that you're leaving your current place of employment.
Yep.
For bigger and brighter things.
He looked at me and was like, so there's two of them in the office when I gave him the letter. One of them was just real sad. She wouldn't say nothing.
What are their positions?
Supervisors. Two of my supervisors.
Okay.
Were. And the other one just looked at me and then he looked down and he said, when's your last day? Like real, like, sad or whatever.
It could have just been because somebody, like 3 people before you came in and turned in them same letters. It probably had nothing to do with you.
They ain't throw no money at you.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm like. She asked how much I was going to be making and whatnot, and I told her. And
you got to lie.
Gotta
you gotta embellish a little bit.
Yeah. And it's just like I'm not gonna stay here forever. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. When I realized how valuable I was, because I was one of those people that came in every day, wasn't coming in late, wasn't calling off. Did what was told.
Definitely.
I called off once, and that was for my niece's birthday, and for the Culturally Correct podcast event.
Okay.
It was very important.
Okay.
Hey, we appreciate
once,
that.
And it never happened again.
Because you quit.
Can't call off when you got 2 weeks left. Like,
you did the ultimate call off.
You took it to the next level. That's what's up, man. Hey, well, listen, let me tell you who else got called off.
Is that how we're starting?
Hey, that was a good segue.
Yeah, let me tell you who else got called off this week. The Rossane show got called off. So essentially, she sent out a tweet that was aimed at a former member of Barack Obama's staff, and it was definitely racist in nature. She likened this person to a monkey, essentially. And so ABC, is it? ABC decided that they no longer want to be in the Rossane business, the Rossane bar business, and so they canceled her show. So she's no longer employed by ABC. Here's what's interesting though, to me, and you guys tell me what you think. You guys are on social media just as often as I am, if not more. It's funny how there are a lot of people who are saying that it's freedom of speech, like she should be able to say what she wants to say, and they are like in support of Rossane. But then these same exact people are the people who are against the NFL players taking a knee during the national anthem.
I know one spoke up when the NFL just passed that rule saying either be in the locker room or don't be on the field.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, what have you guys been seeing that? Like, have you guys seen? I mean, I have some friends who definitely support Rossane for sure, and these people are the same exact people who are like, "You should stand up for the anthem." Blase scoop, and like, so it's like, wow, this is like mad hypocritical out here. Like, why doesn't it apply on both ends? And we know, like, she's white. these NFL players are black. That's why the same rules don't apply.
No, it's at the root of it. That's all it is. I don't know what it is in general that made people even speak out about it. Like, you knew they were the same issue. Like, at the root of the cause, it's the same issue. Why would you speak out on both of them knowing they were contradictory? Like, what makes you think that you say, oh, yeah, you should stand, and then, oh, she got the right to freedom of speech?
It's because people are colorblind.
They don't think it's a color thing?
No,
but
they're blind to the issues of people of color. Oh, that's a bar. That's a bar. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But no, I'm with you. But I'm still thinking, like, even if you're colorblind to it, if you want somebody to be like, hey, they can say what they want and do what they want, why don't you let them do what they want? Why is that affecting you?
I don't know.
You can let somebody call them, what she call them? If a Muslim Brotherhood and an ape have a baby equals somebody, you can say that. You can literally attack somebody and people on your side. You should have your job, keep your job. But on the flip end, you can't just take a knee saying, I understand it's a problem, and I just want to bring awareness to this problem.
Well, they try to mask the whole the taking a knee thing as, you know, being disrespectful to this country and to the people that have served. That's their angle with it. And
so you can blatantly be disrespectful, but you can't be like overtly disrespectful. You can't be
Covert.
Yeah. Overt. One of the two. Got me.
Because so here's my whole issue with it, and this might be going a little too far into it, but the whole taking a knee thing is a protest, right? But it's like a silent protest, right? And so, like, when these incidents where, you know, black men are being killed by, you know, white officers or whatever it may be, and people go out and protest and they riot, white people have a problem with that. They have a problem with you going out in front of the courthouse holding signs and singing Kumbaya and whatnot, right? And then they also have a problem with you taking a knee during the national anthem. So it's like you kind of can't win on either side. But they will also support you saying whatever it is that you want to say. Like, even at Purdue, they have, I think it's like 2 other universities in the country that have the same, like, you can literally say, like, whatever you want to say. It's like the First Amendment, freedom of speech. Like, it's like a clause within, like, the university rules or whatever. And you have freedom of speech. You can literally say whatever you want to say, and you will not be in any type of trouble for it. So if you walk, you know, during residential campus, and they have Confederate flags hanging from their windows and stuff like that, like, they have that right to do that. Even though it offends a group of people on the campus, it makes people uncomfortable. Like, they are protected through a certain clause or rule by the university. So, I mean, I don't know. I've seen it happen on college campuses and how it's affected people. And I've always seen that, you know, white individuals will go to war for that First Amendment. Like, literally, like,
as long as they get to do it, not other people.
As long as they get to do it and not other people. And when you think about it, man, like, we don't really have a way to combat that First Amendment. As far as, like, black people as a whole, we literally don't have, you know what I mean? Like, what can we say? Our voice has always been
muffled, or
yeah, you know what I mean. So that's why they take that and they run with that. Is because, you know, they know that they're louder on that end. You know what I mean?
Essentially, I wasn't checking for Roseanne's show anyway. I didn't like it when I was a kid. I don't like it now. I mean, I ain't gonna say I don't like it now because I never watched it. So, but I don't care about it. You know what I mean? Essentially, so aside from what she said, can I ask you guys, do you think that it was fair for ABC to essentially fire her based off of tweets that she sent out on social media? And I remind you guys of what happened to Jamel Hill earlier this year, where she said some things about the president of the United States, and ESPN kind of reprimanded her for what she had said, about, actually it was around the protest too, but about what she had said about the president. So the question is, was it fair? Was it okay? Is it justified for ABC to fire, essentially, Rossane for her tweet?
When it comes to stuff like that, I feel like it has to be dealt with on a case-by-case basis, and I feel like it ultimately reflects on the company's how the company is perceived. It's like, if you employ this person and you allow them to, say this stuff, it kind of assumes that, for me, I assume that you're in line with, the stuff that was said. You don't, regardless if you are or not, you haven't done anything that shows that you're not. So it's safe for me to assume that is okay, and that's how you feel as well. And so if you're okay with your company taking a hit that way, then no, don't fire her. But if you don't want your company to take a hit, and you're trying to save face or whatever, then I think it is fair for you to fire her, because at the end of the day, she is an employee, is a representative of your company.
So that's why the NFL is taking the stance it is taking, and it said, "Boy, you gonna stand up and respect this flag, or you stay your black ass in the locker room."
Right. I think
it's hard because for me, sorry to
no, go ahead.
It's hard for me to look at it that way because, boy, these black men is the NFL, right? And so without these black men in this NFL, there ain't no NFL. I don't know how many people gonna come and watch some white boys play football.
I think it'll be rugby at that point.
Yeah, literally. I mean, they're not as athletic. They're not as talented. And I'm not even trying to take it there.
Racist?
Not trying.
Racist,
I'm being actual, factual.
Okay.
Natural. Right. No, I'm talking about. No, but seriously, man, I don't know who's gonna come out and just watch a group of white men play football. I mean, it won't be exciting. Yeah, but it's also a lot more black people and a lot more Hispanics and whatnot.
More Hispanics. Black. If you want your son to be successful, make him play baseball. It's only 3% black. 6% black.
Put him in golf.
6%.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, so how is it not the same thing though?
It's the same. I think as a company, whatever, or a business, whatever you set your moral standing at, you can't tweeter at that line no more. ABC, I think that's where Matt Lauer's from. Good Morning America, all that. As soon as they heard anything, you never heard of Matt Lauer again. So it wasn't no big hoopla. You heard it happen, and it was no more talk. They fired him. No goodbye. No, this is their statement. They were done. So my thing with the show is, they could have fired Rossane. I know the show is named after her. They could have wrote her off. They could have killed her off. She could have ran away. Other people lost some jobs.
You're not killing Rossane off the Rossane show.
Listen, they could have did it. Other people lost.
You're not killing Bill Cosby off of
the Cosby show. Listen, I'm just saying, her decision lost other people jobs.
Fact though.
They was sitting at home rehearsing their lines.
Doing what they supposed to do.
Doing their job. Perfecting their craft.
Right.
Because somebody else racist, they got to lose their job. Like, I'm not okay with people getting... Like, in the NFL, their rule is you kneel, you get the fine.
Correct. Though.
Not your whole team. I think they might have put a team clause in there. But I don't know. Not sure.
The Western caller from the Jets said, he said he paying everybody fine. You want to kneel, you go out here and kneel. I'm going to pay your fine.
If I don't boycott the NFL, because I'm literally debating it. This year I'm debating.
Oh no, it's set in stone for me.
Like I know.
I didn't watch a lot beforehand anyway. So
I watched a lot. I was
not hard for
very into it.
Why are you debating? Like what is it?
Come on, Rome, be a black man out here. You know what I'm saying?
No, because I always get sucked into these fantasy football leagues, and so then this money I put on the line, I can't.
Oh, you want to see yourself lose the money? Is what you're saying?
Listen, I'm the champ all the time.
Okay.
The ones that cause money, I pay attention to. But no,
I don't think you're wrong for not wanting to.
and so
Because a lot of people ain't gonna boycott it.
I think I'm literally going to boycott it this year. I think I'm fully. When you set rules, it's okay for you to talk about it amongst you, but then when you set rules,
You're a hypocrite though, because are you okay with what they did to Rossane?
I'm okay with them firing Rossane. I said I'm okay. If you set that moral compass, you just gotta stay by it. I'm mad because everybody.
And the reason why it's different is because these people ain't coming out and tweeting nothing racist. They simply just taking a knee. It's a protest.
Yeah, but we get down to the root. You said that
It's
if
freedom
it
of
does
speech.
anything to harm my business,
Right.
it's proven that this kneeling has had a negative effect on the NFL's brand. And so much so to the point where, I mean, obviously the White House talks about everything, but it's garnered that type of attention. So, Rossane had a negative effect on the ABC brand. They cut her off. You're cool with that. Kneeling had a negative effect on the NFL.
I also said before I
Kneeling
started-
had a negative effect on the NFL brand. They put rules in place to prevent the kneeling from happening.
I also said before I started it had to be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. That's what I said. You have to look at each case in a very specific way. And like I said, these two different situations are completely different. The reason why the NFL is the brand is hurting is simply because they're not supporting it. That's why it's hurting.
I think it's more alike than what we think. I think they're exactly the same. The difference is the moral center.
Yeah, it's where
That's
you
just the
morally
difference.
stand.
Where do you stand morally? And the NFL has made it very clear that this money is a little bit more valuable to me.
The good old boys club is more valuable.
It's
The
a little bit more
billionaires'
valuable to
money.
me than the players who actually make up the product. I'm with you, Jimmy, in that imagine what happens if all the black stars decided, hey, yo, listen, I ain't playing. Imagine what a strike looks like.
A real strike.
A real strike. You know what I mean? Now, we ain't seen that kind of unity since civil rights, really. I'll take that back. We ain't seen that kind of unity in the black community since the civil rights movement. We've seen that kind of unity here recently, though. The LBGT movement. Oh, yeah, they changed the world, my G.
Yeah.
They legit changed the world, and they did it through unity. You know what I mean? So, I don't think you'll ever get that kind of unity to exist. It's funny. The NBA probably never had this problem. They're really good at staying in front of stuff like this, and the NBA is even more so black than the NFL.
The NFL is not for individuality.
Facts. I mean, yeah.
You, as an NFL player, if they didn't do the little front new interviews with them, you wouldn't know who they are. Some NFL players can pass you on the street and you not know who they are. Yeah. And if they celebrate a touchdown by taking off their helmet, it's a penalty and a fine. I just want people to know who I am.
Right. The play is over.
The play over.
And 9 times out of 10, I'm not about to be involved in what happens next. Why can't I take my helmet off?
So it's not for individuality. It was labeled the No Fun League.
Boy.
Just run. Just play football and shut up.
Stay your
You
black
couldn't
ass
celebrate
in the tunnel if you don't want to participate in this religious ceremony.
That's exactly what the hell they should do. Every black player needs to stay in the tunnel.
Stay your black ass in
and
the
stay.
locker room.
And when that ball kick, that's where you need to be at. In the tunnel.
I'm with the Jets. The Jets owner, he won me over.
I'm not with him. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not with him. The vote was unanimous, my G.
They said it wasn't a vote.
Nah, it was a vote. The owners unanimously. Go back and look at it. It was a unanimous vote, which threw me off that he had the response that he had, because it was only the 49ers owner abstained from even participating. He didn't even participate in voting or not voting.
What about the dude from Jacksonville?
What about him?
Because you know he's of color. He's a Muslim.
Is he a majority owner?
I think he's the majority owner.
I don't think there's a majority owner of color in the NFL.
He's Jacksonville. He's Muslim.
Googles.
I'm gonna do my Googles.
Yeah, do your Googles. I don't
Google
think
that
so.
for me, Jimmy. I got like 6%.
Some Android shit.
Right? Yeah. Hey.
No, it's called that business shit. It's 10 o'clock at night.
Listen, Rossane, go ahead and sit back on the couch, baby. You was good there anyway. Like, we didn't really care about you, no way. In the way of entertainment, we're cool with that. You know what I'm saying? There's other things that are more entertaining out here than your show. We don't really care too much.
We can keep the other cast. Just do a spinoff. Keep them on.
Yeah, nah. If they
Say she ran away.
Yeah, well, hey, listen.
He's Muslim. He look Arabic. He look Middle Eastern.
Shad Khan is his name.
Is he the majority owner?
I just typed in Jacksonville Jaguars owner, and this is the guy that popped up.
And he must. Now listen, hold on. He's not black though. So there's a huge.
You almost made me go there. I almost like with real nothing. I can't say it.
No, I'm saying it makes sense why he wouldn't vote. It's not his issue.
No, I mean it's kind of.
It's not his issue.
A little bit his issue.
Please explain to me how.
Because it's a person of color. It's police brutality against colored people. Yes, majority black, but it's black and brown. It's black and brown.
It's not his issue, bro. He's a billionaire.
And
he's not black. It's not his issue.
Listen.
We can go back and look.
Listen, no, you're correct. You that might be his mindset.
Yeah,
he got the Kanye complex.
Is he from here?
Listen.
If he's not from here, furthermore explains my point. It's not his issue.
Trump would want to send him back.
Listen, Trump would not. Trump don't mind those people. The billionaires. Trump is completely fine with the billionaires.
He's fine with the billionaires
for sure.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, listen, Rossane, there's other things that have entertained us. We don't need your show. I do have, the best wishes to those people who were a part of that cast, who, you know what I mean, lost their job as a result of this show, being canceled. Sad times. Speaking of sad times, it is a sad time. I'd imagine it is a sad time, the day in the life of one Aubrey Graham. It has to be a sad time. He must want, like Rossane, he must want Pusha T canceled. He has to. So let's backtrack a little bit. Pusha T drops a project called Infrared.
Daytona is the project.
The project is Daytona, but he addresses Drake on a song called Infrared. He says a few things,
which is disrespectful in itself.
Well, the fact that the song was called Infrared?
Yes. I
concur. I mean, infrared is, symbolic of, hey, there's a shot coming. Something's about to happen.
So we can assume that infrared was a warning shot.
I'd imagine. I mean, it has to be.
I just think it was a warning. It wasn't even a shot yet.
Yeah, a warning? Okay.
I think it was just a warning.
Okay.
Because you see that little red light on your chest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it definitely was a shot, though, because he explicitly mentions Quentin Miller. Yeah. In that song, which is, if you guys don't know, Quentin Miller is the ghostwriter for a few of Drake's songs. Nothing really major though. Like, I don't think he wrote for anything that was like super major,
super mainstream. Some of his coldest songs been, what's the song off of? Not the one off of Views, the one before that.
Running Through the Six.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he wrote a lot of songs on that. If you're reading this, it's too late, which was supposed to be all throwaways anyway from Drake. You guys remember hearing that?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Well, anywho, he definitely goes and he says something about about Quentin Miller writing for Drake. That then prompts Drake to respond with the Duppy freestyle, and that was it was a pie. It was definitely a pie, but half the pie was reserved for Kanye West, and the other half was reserved for Pusha T.
Which is
for sure.
disrespectful in itself.
Which is disrespect on disrespect.
He started off with saying, if you rebuke me for working with somebody else to write music, what do you think of Kanye West? Essentially, and it's been known, largely known, that Kanye West, has had multiple writers. From Sci-Hi to Rhymefest. To a bevy of other people, Big Sean probably, who have written for Kanye. So, So, anyways, what are your thoughts on this whole back and forth that has been going on between Pusha T and Drizzy?
Drake's.
First of all, before you answer that question, who's winning?
With Adonis, or a story of whatever the new one is Pusha T put out, Pusha T he got real disrespectful.
Mad disrespectful.
If
you
anything,
catch these hands.
You have to full on fight. At this moment in time, where I draw the line on most things don't get me hyped up. But one, talking about my kids, just mentioning them, and we beefing, that'll get you. Two, calling me a deadbeat, because he basically called him a deadbeat.
That's exactly what he said. And it was so surgical, like he said. He compared him to his father.
So then he talked about your daddy.
He compared him to his dad.
And then talked about his mama. You don't know how to treat women because your mama wasn't treated right. He hit his lineage.
He definitely hedged his tree, his family tree. He definitely cut that thing
So
up.
If that happened in me, every time I see you, I'm fucking you up on sight. Not every time I see you.
Okay, but here's the
Jimmy,
thing.
who's winning, bro?
Here's the thing, right? So this is my first time ever even hearing that Drake allegedly has a child, right? And so from the research that I've done, the Googles that I've done, you know what I mean? I don't think that it's actually been confirmed that Drake actually has a child. I don't think that it's actually been 100% confirmed. I from what I've seen, this has come up a while back. It was rumored.
NTO, I think, released it a year and a half ago, and
it went away, and now it's come back up.
Bill Cosby shit was 30 years ago. It went away, and it came back up.
No, I get that. I'm just saying.
Just because it go away don't make
Bill
it
Cosby, though, we got actual,
You got a baby.
We got a baby.
He got a men's that he messed with her. I mean,
she hasn't said anything.
She probably got some kind of Donald Trump clause. He messed with porn star. Hey, here's some hush money. Don't say nothing.
She actually has said something.
What'd she say?
She alluded to Drake not being around for the kid. Now imagine she's not referring to or alluding to Drake not being around in a financial capacity.
Because I'm sure he... they dropped a picture of her baby shower, though, and I could have did that for $20.
I'll say...
I did see that picture.
I'll say that Push is winning if this alleged...
No.
If I say Push is winning if this is true.
He talked about his daddy and his mama regardless. Those are facts.
I get that, but people...
Facts.
I mean, people do that all the time. Are you a fan of battle rap? I watch battle rap.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of battle that. I mean...
He said you a deadbeat because your daddy a deadbeat. That's offensive.
It's offensive. And he said, essentially, he was alluding to the fact that you giving your father a lot of attention.
Yeah.
But your mom keeps coming in last place. Why is that?
Yeah.
She ain't been married.
He said don't talk about rings because your mama never had one.
It's crazy.
Okay, so do y'all agree with, because what he said, what Pusha T said in Breakfast Club interview was, he did over the phone, I guess, after he dropped this last record, but he said that the reason why he went the way he went is because Drake name dropped his fiance.
Because he knew it was disrespectful. You bring my family involved in anything.
I'm saying he name dropped his fiance. Like, it wasn't like no... It wasn't to the extent that Pusha T went.
Because you gotta go over. You name my fiance. I'm talking about your mom and your daddy.
I think the great American philosopher Charlemagne said that when you hit somebody,
Charlemagne.
when you hit somebody, you don't have the right to determine how they respond.
Hit you back.
Yeah, how they respond. So Drake came for, and I'll say this, in Drake's defense, he did not come for his fiance. He did not. There's no shape, form, or fashion did he disrespect Pusha T's fiance. That's not there. But he did mention her. If you're not gonna respect her,
keep her name out your mouth.
Just don't mention her. Because there's a possibility. Pusha T still has 1992, Loke Dog, you know what I'm saying? Braids. He's not all the way there. He's not. Even Snoop is giving up the braids. Snoop is straight dreads out here. Pusha T is still holding on to the... You can't... Pusha T... And here's the thing, though. Pusha T is not the same caliber artist as a Drake. So he really has nothing to lose. Pusha T is not even, on the marquee of, of hip-hop right now. You know what I'm saying? He has a core following. When he drops specifically for that core following. He's not trying to do numbers like that. That's not what he's...
That's not what he does.
So Drake responding and killing Pusha T is not going to hurt him in any way.
No, it's not hurt. It's just don't hurt.
He's not that big. If this was a Chance situation, Chance is he's not as big as Drake, but he's definitely in the same building as Drake, for sure. Pusha T is not even on the same block as Drake. Pusha T from around the corner in them. Right.
We can pass him any day.
Drake is so it's almost the whole what's that the analogy of the dog, yapping at the moon. But if the moon, yaps at the dog, now the dog is famous.
Because Pusha T album was around the corner?
No, it's dropped.
It did it? Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, it dropped.
I don't know why I was still thinking
Drake
June.
made a valid point, though. He said, if you have a problem with me consulting with some people on getting verses, how is it can you stand behind Kanye?
Not valid. I'm going to tell you why it's not valid.
How the hell is it not valid?
I'm going to tell you. I got you. Nobody who's a hip-hop fan ever said Kanye West was top 5 MCs.
Ever. Nobody ever said that.
No. What I will say is he's hands down, unquestionably top 3 artists ever in hip-hop. It's a difference between an MC and an artist. It's a big difference. I've never you can listen to a lot of Kanye stuff. You're like, oh yeah, such and such wrote for him. This.
You can tell where
it's pretty obvious. What you can't take away from that man is the fact that he can cultivate a great project. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he can spearhead a great project. So the difference is Drake wanted to be, and people were putting him in the conversation of being one of the greatest rappers. You can't be in that conversation
if you don't write.
Nobody, I don't think there's ever been anybody who really knows music who put Kanye West in the conversation of the greatest rappers ever. Even if Kanye West wrote everything that he said, he still wouldn't be considered one of the greatest rappers. Kanye makes great music. There's a difference because Nas is one of the greatest rappers. He's probably one of the worst music makers ever. Hands down. I don't care nobody. You can't convince me otherwise. Music wise, I don't see Nas being upper echelon. Bar for bar though, he's next level. Which separates him and Jay, because Jay writes, so he has that, but then he'll also ride the coattail or the wave of whoever is hot musically. Which is why all of his major projects have the same thing in common. Kanye, Pharrell, or Timbaland. To this last one, which he wasn't trying to.
Right.
He wasn't trying to sell no records. Like, he was just getting some ish off his chest. So, anyways, the reason why I say that Drake can't take that shot at Kanye is because, like, Kanye has told y'all that other people write for him. He's been very vocal about that. So you can't. Drake has been out here having ghostwriters making it seem like, you know what I mean, it was all him. Can't do that. Sorry. You know what I mean? If I told you that somebody else, you know what I mean? If I told you, yo, yeah, man, I fixed my car. I fixed my car. And really, I took that thing down to the shop, I'm a liar. If I tell you I got my car fixed, we're good. Wasn't me. Drake has been making it seem like it's been him. That's the difference.
Okay, I see that.
Nothing?
No, I see it.
I mean, did Pusha go too far, though? He talked about his guy 40 with multiple sclerosis.
Yeah, that's effed up.
Like 40 wasn't even like in the room when Drake wrote. He might have been in the room when he wrote, but I'm saying, like, 40 had nothing to do with this. Like, nothing.
But you gotta realize when you're doing somebody like Pusha T, like, this is completely different than like when he was dealing with Drake. You know what I mean? Like, Pusha T is one of those artists that
I think it's
that
like
can go. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not no Meek Mill situation.
Yeah, but Joe Buttons could go, and that beef didn't really. You know, Joe Buttons sent multiple shots at Drake.
yeah.
I think because this Drake,
Common did too.
this Drake and Kendrick beef never spirals out of hand either.
Drake don't want those problems.
You're correct, because I don't know, like he never went at Kendrick as hard.
And Kendrick definitely sent shots.
He has.
On the BET freestyle. He said that nothing's been the same since I dropped control and tucked a sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. That was right after Drake dropped Nothing Was the Same, the album.
Yeah, so why doesn't he go after him? Like I think he thought he could push over Pusha T. And then Pusha T has to.
Pusha T had that. He had that in the chamber. Like, that wasn't.
He knew.
Oh yeah, he knew.
Like that was.
If you gonna drop something like Infrared, you definitely gonna, you know what I mean? You definitely gotta have something to follow it up.
And he alluded to the fact he got more.
Yeah. He says it's gonna be a surgical summer.
Surgical summer. We're gonna peel this back layer by layer.
Easy money is what he said.
Drake is expected to drop an album over the summer. It's going to be pretty
They said the next we will hear something here soon from Drake.
Oh,
Literally,
yeah.
next 24 to 48 hours.
Drake is not gonna respond.
He's responding.
Why does he not?
He does because
What does it do for him?
what does it do for him? Same reason why, you know what I mean, whatchamacallit didn't really respond to Remy Ma, Nicki. She's responded like way later. It was like way too late. Like, it was after nobody even thought about it.
But she had features. She does all that.
Remy
is the Pusha T of that arena.
I think Nicki was
And they got
actually
the same hairstyle.
Nicki was actually fearful because Remy Ma did some time. Like she knew she's about that life. Drake got to keep his cred up. He's don't reply.
Drake will not respond.
You going on the record?
Low key though, if Drake
Go on the
loses
record.
his beef, doesn't really affect him
Does nothing for him.
Because his fan base all wear
Because
skirts.
the fan base does not care
Women
about
are
this.
upset.
That
They went after that he said something about that man's multiple sclerosis. Like, women are mad. Why did you have to? Why did you have to say that?
I seen more women
Not
talk about
fair.
this beef than the Nicki beef, and even the Cardi beef, and any other beef. Women are on this Drake beef.
I'm gonna tell you how I know this don't affect Drake. I am confident in saying that 60 to 65% of the people who support Drake financially that are fans have no clue
That's
who
going
Pusha
on.
T is. No one knows. Who? Pusha?
Pusha?
Pusha? Pushette? Who's Pushette?
He did tag that man in an invoice though on Instagram. That
What about
That won't work. This is not Meek. You ain't doing no mean.
no, it's true.
Like,
It's true.
can't.
But that's why he left it at just the invoice. The invoice was
I mean, I guess
had a
my,
nice touch to
my
the
question
freestyle.
is like, because here's another reason why I feel like Pusha T is winning. So this picture, you in blackface, my G.
Oh, yeah.
I
We
need some
didn't even
explanations.
Get to the artwork, yeah.
Yeah, like, bro, that's not Photoshop. Like, that's legit. Like, that's you, my guy. Like, can we talk about it real quick? And, you know, he don't talk to nobody.
Well, obviously that picture was years ago.
It was.
It looks like it was.
It was
mad
the
dated.
grassy Drake.
Yeah,
Doesn't
that's
matter
awesome.
though.
He was an actor.
We still need some explaining. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. I need to know.
Yeah, because
How does that make
every
you feel?
all
You
money ain't
love-
good money.
You love Drake. How does that make you feel? He's in blackface. Ooh.
I do need some explanation. But as of right now,
That
I'm
makes
trying
sense
to go
why you
off.
over there defending Drake like
Light
that.
skin.
That light skin thing.
Light Skin Coalition of America.
Y'all stick together.
LCA, baby. Yeah, man, I'm gonna defend my Drake, man. I'm gonna defend my Drake, man.
Not my Drake.
Yeah, my Drake. You know what I mean?
Man,
And the
I just
reason
watched
why
the video
I'm
on
gonna
Instagram where that dude was like, "I'll take a bullet for Drake." His girl said, "You'll take a bullet for me." She said, "No." That's you, ain't it?
listen.
Drake is
We
giving
not
us
no
some
glaze
great
over that. Oh
Drake
yeah.
is the Mike Jackson of my era. And I say that because he is the biggest artist of my time.
He's not bigger than Beyonce, I don't think.
No,
He's bigger than Beyonce.
you.
I damn near don't know if he's bigger than Bruno.
Stop that! Stop that!
I'm being
Stop
serious.
it!
He
Bro,
bigger than
listen.
Bruno.
Oh my
music, bro.
God!
He bigger
Yeah,
than Bruno.
oh.
Drake bigger than Bruno.
you gotta get outta
yeah,
here.
he bigger than Bruno.
Beyonce comparable.
No,
Bruno?
no, nobody got
Outta
Beyonce.
here, bro.
Bruno
The
Mars,
Beehive would have
bro.
dropped this squash an album ago before he would have even thought about it.
Listen.
Drake fans ain't that.
Hey guys. Pop. Bruno is like a legit pop artist.
That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, you can have this.
So straight.
Them facts. Them guys over there in China
true.
are singing. He thought he would drop a grenade for us. Like they're over there singing that. So only please for us. They are singing that.
You have the worst Chinese accent.
Hey,
Right.
What got me was the handshake.
Hey, listen, shout out to the fact that ABC cannot cancel me. Hey, listen, I still want to mess with some of them.
You need to go watch Rush Hour again, bro.
orange chicken tacos for sure.
Man.
Nah, man. It's cool.
He's not-
Drake
Bruno's
is
not
not
better.
going.
He's not
Drake-
bigger.
He's not bigger than Drake.
I think he's up there. Drake is not going to respond because Drake does not have to respond.
He doesn't have to, but he will.
Because Drake is mad petty.
If
We've
he
realized that.
if he does, it will be on his album whenever it comes out. later
Drake
this
is
summer.
mad petty. He's going to respond.
He's going to respond because
We'll get a
he
response
don't
on
want to take
Friday.
any else.
When has he ever gone back and forth with another rapper like that? Like
It was me.
He did with Meek. He just Meek never responded.
Yeah, Meek
You remember he
never
dropped
responded.
back to back.
dropped back to
You remember?
back.
he dropped
dropped-
Charged Up and he dropped back to back.
And the only reason I think he dropped back to back because Charged Up was all right. Back to back, he had to like just go in.
Back to Back got like spins in the club. Like that was like a song.
Yeah. Cause charged up and then hit like he wanted them hit.
He can't do that with Pusha T.
You know what? He might drop a song like a for real song.
No, he can't do that with Pusha T.
On Friday.
You can't get
You
Pusha
can't
T
get
out
that
of here
much time.
with no like club banger.
Cause
you gotta get in your bag.
Can I say something? That the joint what's his single? His new single?
I'm upset.
I'm Upset. It's trash.
It's so trash. I haven't even heard it.
Trash.
I haven't even heard it. Haven't even hit
Drake,
me.
I love you, Aubrey. If you listening to me,
Why don't
trash.
you like it?
I haven't heard it.
It's classic Drake.
Aubrey, I'm Upset. Trash. I was
Classic
so
Drake.
happy with Nice for What and God's Plan. Please don't put that trash on your album. No one wants to hear I'm upset. Matter of fact, I'm upset.
I like it.
Yeah, of course you do. He's light skinned.
Right.
Yeah, buddy.
So what does Drake have to do to win this?
It's no winning.
Or is there no winning?
He just have to fight. He has to fight.
No, he doesn't.
He has to fight. Violence is the key when somebody talk about your family.
Wrong one.
I mean, because Drake got a little disrespectful too.
in court.
Drake got a little disrespectful. He talking about that man's pockets. You don't talk about no other man's financial
That's how
situation.
you talk about how much money I got, don't got. What
He said, let me know when you get multi. You don't talk about another man's situation like that.
My guy did say them M's are a little bit different when baby's dividing the pie. He's alluding to Drake's pockets too. He was like, listen, you may not get paid as much as you portraying you getting paid, especially when baby is the one cutting the check.
He did say it.
Yeah.
But you can't talk about your family. I don't give a fuck about no money.
But we are clear that
Rome, if you out in public and you get into another man that you know, and he sit there and call you broke in front of everybody,
I'm sure you broke.
No,
Next
you
time
gonna
you
whoop
see
that
me,
ass,
I'll be
ain't
some. You talk fucking money.
all right, Rome, listen, Rome, we've seen you.
Ain't nobody ever called me bro.
Nah, but I'm saying we've seen you in that element.
You see a glimpse. Hey, matter of fact, that was what I realized. I have grown.
There you go.
Somebody damn near threatened me the other day.
Really?
Man, bruh.
Where are you at where people are just...
Listen, because everybody know my mouth is my filter
really?
is off. And so I'm in this, I take a lot of classes, I do a lot of things. And you know, when you in class setting, it's always that one person who always got something to say. Something always has happened to them. And they just always talking, not listening to what's going on.
And you had to chime in on...
Listen, so this is what this Negro says.
sit you with the listen.
So the proctor was like, hey, you know, this is what's going on. The dude said, hey, I gotta use the restroom. Proctor said, hey, go ahead, go. Dude said, I don't want to miss nothing. And so, mind you, this dude been talking the whole fucking time. And so I said, man, shut the fuck up.
No, you didn't.
I didn't think I said it that loud, but apparently my voice carries. And so somebody said, man, they said, Rome, you really said? I said, listen, it wasn't like that. I was just saying, like, really, like, that's why you can't go to the bathroom because you don't want to miss something. So the dude, I see he is physically upset, tapping his hand. He doing all that twitching.
Oh, yeah. He's probably got a bomb in his
Man.
car.
So we get a little break. I'm chilling, doing what I normally do on these little breaks we have for this little class I'm in. He come back in. Man, I thought you was gonna come out. I'm just saying, man to man, it's disrespectful. I fight for my respect. I said, bro, you taking this way out of hand. And you see me in the element when somebody approaches me like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, bro, just sit down. You don't want these issues. Like, you taking this whole out of hand. I'm just saying. I said, bro, just relax. just relax. Like, didn't shake me. Then, you know, I ain't move. Get out my seat. He mad walking
that
out.
a while ago, man.
Huh?
Tried that a while ago.
This is new improvement. This is Rome 2.0.
Listen,
Podcast be a little different.
All right, okay. So what was the result for that?
He said, well, if you don't say it again, don't tell you shut the fuck up. Like, that's like, don't say shit then. I said, just you taking this out of hand. Man, so next time we had this class, this dude don't show up. So now I'm getting heat because they saying I made somebody quit this class. And they was like, well, he said he told you come outside. Now that's what didn't happen. Now that, because you go to the point where...
What if at the start of the break he did say, bring your ass outside?
Just tell me you don't whoop my ass and then we'll know where that go from there.
Nah, what if he said, bring your ass
outside? We go outside. We'll see what's happening.
So you gonna get up and you gonna deviate from your normal...
No, bro, you said you changed, Rome.
I didn't... No,
Come on, Rome.
Don't nobody move you, Rome.
What I said was, I have changed. Because the old Rome would have popped up with him when he first popped off.
Yeah.
But I said I've grown. I just said I have grown. That didn't pop me off. Because I was like, I don't know.
Well, shout out to Rome evolving and changing.
Hopefully Drake changes.
I don't know.
Hopefully it sticks.
Hopefully Drake,
hey, man,
realizes he has nothing to lose and doesn't respond.
Pusha T really did have to calculate because you have to do research to find that picture. You had to do some mad research.
I'm telling you, gotta fight. You have to fight at this point.
Hey, yeah, Drake, for all the light-skinned fellas out there, because they think we soft. And it's really your fault they think we soft, but we ain't. And we need you to show, because you've been in the gym. I've been seeing you on the gram. You done bulked up. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Drake. Shoot, we need that.
Listen, man, Drake is not going to respond. I just want everybody to know that, okay? It's not going to respond, and we'll all be upset by it because he's not going to give us what we want. He's not going to respond. So, anywho, listen, man, I don't know how you guys are feeling about this summer, but I'm anticipating a dope summer. What's your initial gut feeling about this summer?
Gonna make some money this summer.
Are you gonna make some money?
Gonna make some money.
Moolah?
Yep.
Moolah. Okay. Initial gut feeling about the summer, Rome.
It's gonna be hot.
It's gonna be hot.
It's just it's not even summer yet and it's been hitting 90.
Oh yeah.
It's not even like middle of the summer heat.
Oh yeah. It's coming.
Like the 4th is gonna be like lit. Like what sucks about being in the Midwest is when it's so fucking hot, they don't like to have fireworks. It's gonna be so hot this year. They don't fucking banish the fireworks this year.
We're gonna see, man. Well, hey, listen, man. We definitely appreciate you guys checking out the Culturally Correct podcast. It's definitely something that we don't take lightly. Your listening ear is definitely important to us. But we all want you to share this thing. Like it, share it, subscribe, all that other good stuff. I really feel like your aunt should be listening to this podcast. Like, send this to her. Shoot her the link. Let her listen to it. See what she thinks, man. As always, it's your boy Dame.
Rome.
Jimmy.
We out of here.